Over a year ago, a game came out in 2016. A game that really changed how I look and think about gaming nowadays. A game that I think really has put a big mark on gaming as a whole. A game that, has allowed me to meet and grow my channel here on YouTube, and a game that allowed me to see a community that I am now a big part of. And this game is none other than Doom 4. Doom 4 came out on May 13th of 2016, exactly 6 days before my birthday. I remember all the promotional stuff I've been seeing about the game. Hell, even to the point where when the game was shown off at QuakeCon, and they decided to not show it to anybody afterwards, basically trying to make sure that hype was really well worth it by giving it only to certain people to see at the time. At the time, this was a mere insult to me because I am a big fan of the Doom series, and I wanted to see what this new game was going to be like. I was extremely hyped for Doom 4, and my love for it has gotten even greater after the release and the over 1 year of playing this game completely. This game has really put a mark on me, and I highly respect that. The Doom series I didn't actually get into until the BFG edition came out. I got it about, I'd say, in 2012, I think is when I got it. I think that's also the year it came out. I got it back in 2012, and it wasn't my first time dealing with the Doom series. In fact, actually, the first time I ever played the game Doom was on my best friend's Game Boy Advance back when I was 10 years old. And shortly after finding Doom on the Game Boy Advance, I found out that we had the movie Doom. That was a really bad experience. I mean, when I was a kid, I freaking loved it. I thought it was badass, but seeing as it is now, it's not a good movie whatsoever. It's got a really cool homage to Doom as a whole, but if anything, it is a awful movie that isn't even Doom at all. But it still was a big part of, how I was able to find this game. And, it had special features, and they were interviewing about Doom 3, and I've never seen Doom 3 before. When I found out it was like a horror game, I was like, oh, I have to play this because I am a big fan of like Silent Hill and Resident Evil, and I love horror and all that, Anyway, the Doom series was a series that it took me a while to actually catch up onto the train and see what people were talking about with this game. And that was none other than the BFG edition allowing me to do that. Though the BFG division shit. Sorry, by the way, I just want to let everyone know, it is really late right now, and I'm kind of recording this while kind of tired. I know it's a stupid idea, but anyway, I will get back to my point. Anyway, the BFG edition was seen to me not as great, or seen to other people not as great. To me, though, it was amazing. Being able to play the original first 3 games, excluding the N64 Doom as well, which I did play only a little bit. I actually didn't care for that one, if I gotta be honest, but I got to play Doom 1, Doom 2, and I got to play Doom 3 and its expansions, and I gotta say, it was one of the all-time best experiences of a game I've ever had. In fact, I would love to go back and play the BFG edition of Doom again, but I don't really use my PlayStation 3 anymore, and I don't know where that game is at all, so good luck finding it, I guess, me. Anyway, the Doom, to get that out of the way, I just had to say all that because that's how much I really do enjoy this game as a whole. This game has really allowed me to find a new era and a new genre of gaming in a way better way than I ever thought possible. And Doom 4 has really shown to me what gaming can truly do and how it can be done in better ways than we've been seeing now. Doom 4 came out in 2016, and other games like Overwatch, Metal Gear Solid 5, Titanfall 2, for three good other examples, came out. So at the time, there were good games coming out, but I really felt like that nowadays, even back then, games have been really not that great, in my opinion. They just haven't really gotten that true spark anymore. I really feel like the creativity has kind of gone into doing the same thing over and over again. You see a lot more multiplayer shooters nowadays and stuff, which is totally fine, but it just seems like everyone is just trying to market on doing the same thing. And this isn't something that has been seen before. I mean, this has been done over and over and over again in the gaming community as a whole, but I really feel like this generation of gaming has really kind of killed itself for me. And I think one big reason is none other than Call of Duty. Call of Duty has really kind of sparked this bad taste I have when it comes to gaming, almost. Because as much as I love gaming, this game has really brought in... Call of Duty here. Call of Duty has really brought in some of the baddest habits of gaming nowadays. And that and a few other titles and a few other companies have done this. It's not just the game's fault. It's more of the company's fault that have done this. Activision and EA are the most people to blame. And usually this leads to microtransactions and DLC and all that kind of stuff. And just everything is just not that accessible nowadays. When you have DLC where people make money off you for playing more content of a game, there's good DLC and there's bad DLC. Bad DLC is stuff you see in like Call of Duty, where it's three multiplayer maps and a zombie map, and you only play them for like a couple days and then you're kind of done with. And then there's good DLC where you have Borderlands 2 come in, where they have a campaign that lasts about 4 or 5 hours with multiple extensions of content and everything that make the DLC worth it, right? And, I don't really necessarily mind DLC, but it is a big problem in the gaming community, and I think what's even more of a problem is microtransactions. See, back in the day, for those of you who don't really know, back in the day, DLC was never truly a thing. There were really only there's only one form of DLC content back in the day, and that was a different version of the same game. So an example I had was Devil May Cry 3 and Devil May Cry 3 Special Edition. By playing Devil May Cry 3, you're not really getting much, you're just getting the main game and everything else that it has to offer, while the Special Edition allows you to play as Virgil, and it allows to unlock many other different kind of things that you don't see in the main version of the game. This has also been seen in many different versions of games, like the Resident Evil games, like Resident Evil 1 being, on the N64 or Sega Saturn, having different features, and, having, better versions and all that kind of stuff. So it's not been unseen before. But one thing that has been taken out of games and made into a money-grabbing exploit nowadays is the addition of, like, fun bonus content. Basically, back in the day, if you played Devil May Cry, you would know that if you beat the game a lot, you get a ton of bonus content, like beating the game on Dante Must Die mode. You unlock costumes and stuff. Every difficulty you beat, you unlock a new costume, you unlock new art and all that kind of stuff. You unlock all this new stuff that you can view and, play as and all that stuff and kind of have fun with the game. Nowadays, if you ever want to use a different costume, you gotta pay for it now, which is a very sad thing I see in games nowadays. Doom 4 has really kind of brought in this new stable into the gaming community in a whole different way, and I really think this game is more important than I think a lot of people really understand and really see. For a lot of people, this game can get boring really quick, and that is totally that's totally feasible. I get bored of this game sometimes a lot, but I think what it comes down to is the amount of content this game actually offers to someone. Basically, what this game offers is something that other games would make you pay for. And what I mean by this is SnapMap. SnapMap is probably one of the most ultimate content tools ever created. Think about modding on PC, but bringing it to consoles and all that. Yet, yes, I know, SnapMap is definitely a step back from modding and all that, and I do know that the Doom community does have general opinions about SnapMap, but I think for console players, I think it's a beautiful thing, honestly. SnapMap allows you to create your own type of map with either game mode or whatever you want to make. If you want to make a story campaign, go ahead. If you want to remake frickin' Tetris, go ahead. Anything in SnapMap is almost impossible. Hell, I saw someone recreate the Resident Evil 2 police station in Doom SnapMap. And if you want to see that for yourself, I think it's episode 8 or 12 or something like it. It's one of the early episodes of my SnapMap series that you guys can go check out. He literally recreated Resident Evil 2 in SnapMap, which is freaking insane, man. Like, oh my god, how you do that? Basically, back in the day, though, SnapMap wasn't fantastic. It was a very alpha version of itself, and it didn't really have some of the best features. Nowadays, when you get Doom 4, SnapMap is way more insane nowadays, with custom geometry taking the forefront of things, and the amount of things you can put into a map nowadays, and being able to create your own custom campaigns if you freaking wanted to, you know? Like, literally, you can make a campaign if you wanted to. You can make anything you want. It is up to you what you create. That is what SnapMap is for. It is a tool that uses all these different assets to allow you to create unlimited content. And when I say unlimited content, I mean that, you know. Many games like, you know, the ones you see today do have a lot of content, but their content really kind of just dies after when you've played every single bit and piece of it. And this can be afforded to SnapMap as well, but SnapMap has always had different things to try out and different things to play. If people were to go and experiment and go look for those things, you would definitely find something that you would not regret playing. SnapMap is a genius concept. It is fantastic, and I think it deserves a lot more attention than you know, most. A lot of the things I am talking about can be quite debatable between some people, which is totally understandable. Yet this is all my opinion, so if you don't agree with me on most of these subjects, that is totally fine whatsoever. But I really feel like that what we're dealing with here is one of the greatest games to come out in a long time, which is why I want to talk about the main subject of this video. What is the future of Doom 4, or Doom in general? Basically, as a SnapMap creator and SnapMap player and part of this Doom community, I made a video a while back basically talking about how I want id Software to make Update 6. And believe it or not, they did. They did make Update 6. And, you know, that made me extremely happy, but as a man, as a person who does SnapMap more than multiplayer, I was very disappointed because I was hoping this update would bring more SnapMap content. Basically, what I want when it comes to SnapMap is a couple assets that are still not in the game yet, or at least still not in SnapMap, which really confuses me to this day. I'm pretty sure there are logical explanations about them, but I really feel like that these assets and things that are missing from the game have been really holding it back, at least for me, because of the sheer fact that just imagining what these things you can do with in SnapMap can just be so amazing if they just take their time and added them into the game. This is why I'm talking about the future, you know, of this game. Basically, one of the assets that I want in SnapMap is none other than the Summoner Demon. If you don't know already, there's a demon in Doom 4 called the Summoner, and there has been 6 total big giant updates to Doom 4, and the Summoner, out of these 6 updates, the Summoner has not yet been added to SnapMap. This, in my opinion, is a dire problem and needs to be changed. The Summoner Demon needs to be in SnapMap. If this were to happen, oh my god. What can you do with a Summoner Demon? How can you really, make that into a boss fight, or how can you make these things, or how can you make this mechanic work in a way that really suits and how you want to create your map and all that kind of stuff. These are things that I wish can be explained, but honestly I don't think will ever be explained because of the future of this game. Now, when Update 6 came out, a lot of people were talking about how, like, okay, well, maybe this is the beginning of something new, or maybe this is just the beginning of all the updates and all that. And I agree and disagree at the same time. This game has been out for a year now, and the last update, besides Update 6.66, which came out, I think, 2 months ago, so I want to say August, or maybe, I can't remember exactly which month it came out. But I do know that there was a good gap between Update 5 and Update 6. And that whole gap is kind of telling me that they have kind of stopped working on this game. Now, is that a bad thing? No. This game had its run. It had its whole year of, it had an entire year to go through, had many updates, has a fantastic community built, and I cannot wait to be with this community longer and longer and longer, and I cannot wait to see it grow. This game is definitely not getting off my list anytime soon. But when it comes to this game's future, I don't really think we're getting anything else. Now, I could be completely wrong about this because of a multitude of facts. Like, the Doom Twitter page is still active to this day. They still tweet things and all that, and it's a really nice thing that they're doing. id Software are even referencing their own game into like Quake and all that kind of stuff, and Bethesda is doing the same thing with Fallout and all that. They're really showing this game what it can be done. And you have to think about Doom VR as well, which is a new experience when it comes to Doom 4 that I actually am excited to see what it's like. And Waylon, who has a VR headset, is going to be getting it, and he's going to experience what Doom VR is truly like. Now, I won't be able to really get this experience unless we share play or something. I would love to see how Doom VR is, and I would love to play how Doom VR is and see what it plays like, So, there are some good facts that maybe, the future of this game is still imminent and all that kind of stuff. But can a VR title really be the telling that there will be more to Doom 4? I'm not too sure, honestly, if I gotta be 100% honest. Doom 4 has so much stuff in it and so much content in it, and the file size of Doom 4 right now is over 100 gigabytes, so I think them putting more content into this game would kind of break it on consoles and kind of stuff. That is if you have like terabyte hard drive, Alan. Like the concept of just putting more into the game, even though it's been over a year, isn't something new. I mean, many games do it. Minecraft does it, World of Warcraft does it, Overwatch is doing it. I mean, Overwatch is constantly getting updates. Team Fortress 2, which I actually found out recently, is still getting updates. I couldn't believe that when I first heard that, because that game is like, what, from 2006? It's been 11 years and they're still updating it? Like, wow. That is insane. Like, are you kidding me? Like, I know World of Warcraft has been doing that for the longest time, but Team Fortress 2? Oh my god. But, this isn't a new thing that's happened, But I don't think Doom 4 is going to get the same treatment. Who knows, though? I could be wrong. So many games are still getting updates. Another good example is Grand Theft Auto 5, which Rockstar has announced that they're probably not going to stop making updates up until 2018. So they still have a couple months to go, and probably a whole one more year after that when Red Dead Redemption 2 comes out. Now, when it comes to this game's future, is it bright? Do I think it's a good future? Of course, honestly. Because I'm pretty sure that id Software will definitely create Doom 5 or Doom 2 if you see it which way, But I'm not too sure if they're really going to be focusing on that. They did make a pretty good, like, if you look into Doom's lore, it's fantastic. Like, they actually have interesting lore in there that they don't tell you, But story isn't the point of Doom, It's just about getting big guns and shooting giant demons in the face, and I think that's really what it should be, fully, And the oh my god, I cannot fucking say just the adding of that story, though, the story elements is fascinating. They have a fantastic story here. But will it last, and how do we see this go? And Doom 4 has also influenced many other games as of late, even Call of Duty. Well, Call of Duty World War II is going back to its roots and doing and using multiple mechanics that it used in the past, like you can't choose your weapon in multiplayer, you have to go by loadout, and you have to pick up med packs and all that. I think Doom 4 has really kind of influenced many next generation games these days. And when you see all these games, you know, have all these like old style mechanics, I really think you can thank Doom for that, you know. And that's why I think this game is extremely important. That's why I'm talking about it. This is why I think this, you know. And, you know, I did get some criticism in my Doom Update 6.66 video, you know, and some of my stuff there still stands and all that, you know. I don't play multiplayer whatsoever. I don't play Doom 4 for the multiplayer. If anything, I play it for the campaign and SnapMap as a whole and all that. And I want to see SnapMap have more content, but I don't know if they will have more content, you know. And I think, you know, I would love to think that, and I would love to know, but no one can really know for sure what they're going to be doing with Doom 4. If anything, I'd hope they just make Doom 5. And I hope that, you know, they are able to make something that they love better and all that, or make something different, you know. I'm totally up for what it has to offer in the next coming days, and I want to say that this game did not disappoint. If anything, this game led to my expectations better than almost any other game has in quite a while. That and probably Resident Evil 7. Resident Evil 7 as well. Because when I was a kid and I played Doom, this game is all I could think about. Doom 4, Doom 4, Doom 4. Anyway, that is going to be my video about Doom 4's future. I know it's kind of weird, and I know it's kind of all over the place, but let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Do you think Doom 4 is going to have a little bit more of a future? I would love to hear what you guys think. Anyway, I'm going to head out, everyone. You have a fantastic rest of your day, and I am out of here.